Yeah, he said, "Oh, I always wonder what happened to you." Now I'm blowed up 13 million records.
Right.
And when he did Othello, he came to me for the information.
Okay.
Because I have 3,000 books in my library. My library is deeper than this, is serious.
Okay.
And he couldn't find none of the work. You know, he called me. I said, Fish, I got the Orson Welles Othello. I got the original Othello. I got all the versions of Othello on cassette and the books. He came to the crib. I hadn't seen him for a while. He got all my tapes, did all his research. So every time Othello comes on, I'll be like, that's me, my research.
Right.
But, you know, he know my kids. That's my man. I love him to death. Larry Fishburne, that's my dude.
Wow.
So, yeah, I mean, that's just living in New York in the 80s. Madonna, I would go up to see her in Axis and record. You know, those were the days.
He was real close with Madonna.
I'm gonna leave it right there.
Yeah, don't answer that.
You know what
I mean? Don't answer that.
Crystal Waters on my exes, Madonna. You know, but the lights was getting on my nerves, though. I couldn't deal with that nigga calling up and things. We'll leave it right there.
We talking to Freedom Williams right now. We talking CNC Music Factory, and since we on that vibe right now, I want to go to one of the videos from CNC Music Factory, Gonna Make You Sweat. How do you come up with that such monster hit record, Freedom?
I was in a club called Nels, which is now up and downstairs. It was called Nels.
14th?
14th and 7th and 8th.
We just rolled past there,
right.
too.
Fetty Wap will be there tonight.
Yeah, Fetty's there tonight. And I know Fetty's manager, Big Pun. I'm actually doing a documentary with the Fetty Patterson crew because King Son and me are very close.
Okay.
And the whole Patterson crew, my ex lived in Patterson. So before I was making records, I did a lot of in Patterson. So I'm working on a documentary with Fetty. But I was in Nels one day.
Okay.
And it was house downstairs and hip hop upstairs.
Right.
But I was never really in the house. I didn't really know disco. I was a hip hop head, South Jamaica, BG Manor. You know, I was a hip hop head. But since I was making these house records and engineering them, I was like, I need to really understand a little bit more. So I was in Nels and I was downstairs by myself. There was no one downstairs. And the dude played a record that I was familiar with, which was called Motherland. It was Father, Father, give praise to the motherland. Karen Bernard. It was called Africa. Africa. It was a big house record back in the late 80s. And my management company also managed them. Steve Rosen, you know, Barbara, they all. So I said, wow, that's my man's record. I hadn't had a record out yet with CNC. And then he played this record and he went, and I was sitting on a radiator because when you came down to Nels, there was a radiator right there and then a bar. It was small in the basement. And I was sitting there and I was kind of dozing off. It was like 2:30 in the morning. I was like, yo, I'm going back home. And when he played this record, I jumped up and I ran to the DJ. I said, yo, what is that record? I Got the Power was the illest record almost I'd ever heard. I always tell people, that's one of the top 5 greatest hip hop beats of all time.
Gets you going.
Remember, DJ Mark did that. The 45 King with Chill Rob G. That's a hip hop record.
Right.
Make no mistake about that. And that's one of the illest beats in the history of hip hop. And I said, yo, what the fuck? I never heard no shit so hard. I got the power. I was like, yo. I was just next day in the studio, I was like, yo, I heard this record last night, right? We need a record. I got a direction. And then Alan was a programmer in Axis, which was owned by, oh man, well, he's a big DJ right now. I forget his name. He's an Italian cat. He owned Axis. And Alan was our programmer. And we didn't program on the drums all the time. We programmed a computer. And I was in the studio with Robert and Alan. And he was in Access right across from the Hit Factory on 54th. And Alan was on the drums and he went, boom, gat, on the computer just playing around. Boom, gat, 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 boom. And I was like, yo, what is that? And Robert was like, yo, what is that? He was like, I'm just messing around. And David called. Let me tell you how it happened. And he was playing a beat in the background on a speakerphone. And it worked with the drum track. Now, wow. David and Robert argued about that after who did what, but I was there. I know, and I heard.
I witnessed.
I ain't going to tell you what the mesh was because you don't really hear it, and I heard it. And then we made the record. And we gave it to a group called Trilogy.
Okay.
They didn't like it. the beat didn't really. It was like a freestyle group. It was a freestyle group. It was Darren Henson.
Innovative.
Darren Henson.